Hey, there I am. Timer.
Okay.
I love it. Hey, welcome back, people, to another exciting episode of Prop Talk from the PMG. We are in the room today with the legend.
Yep.
Right? Go ahead. How are you?
Good. How are you,
Brad
guys?
Einhorn,
Hey.
just in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Of course you did because you looked at the thing before you started playing it. Anyway, yeah, Brad, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
Good. I just have throw a disclaimer out there, and Mikey hates it when I do this, but we just did back-to-back recordings, so if I'm a little frosty, you'll know why.
No, we just coordinated the same clothes. It's weekly.
Oh, that's right. I should have brought a second shirt. Oh, that would have been good. Yeah, so yeah, Mikey and I are both working now, so we're, today's Juneteenth, so happy Juneteenth Day for everybody out there, and we decided to stockpile a couple because we were running out. But so here we are, and this is a long time coming. We've been wanting to get you in the room. I didn't think I was going to get you to come out.
I'm here.
Yeah, I love it.
I was waiting for you, Chris.
Were you? Excellent.
He
Thank
was
you.
the first one.
Yeah, I was like, wait, Andy Siegel. Wait, where's Chris?
I see that guy every day.
Yeah, exactly.
No, when the only time we see each other is at the swap meet, apparently.
Yeah. I'm actually doing the swap meet tomorrow. I mean,
Is it
Sunday.
tomorrow?
Sunday.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, I'm doing the Topanga swap meet.
All right.
Oh, yeah? What do you guys do with the swap meet?
I sell vintage stuff.
Really?
I've collected vintage stuff my whole life. and
Yeah.
I sell vintage
And that's a
stuff.
great swap meet if you've never been
It's
there.
really fun.
Yeah?
I mean, I never get through that whole thing. I only get through
it's
like a
super
quarter of it before we.
Is it something that you just do on the side, that you just a hobby of yours?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, cool.
I used to be in an antique mall on Melrose, and
Oh.
I've always loved like vintage stuff.
Yeah.
And so now I do this on every last Sunday of the month.
Oh, cool. So you must love doing period movies.
Yeah, that's really what I want to do now.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if I can I'm probably not going to work that much longer, and I would prefer to do just a period movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're collecting and then selling?
Yeah,
Oh,
just buy and sell. Now I'm buying and selling because I was collecting since I was like 23 years old.
Nice.
And so I sold a lot of that off now.
Yeah.
Like I had a whole garage full of vintage stuff. I always thought I was going to have a store.
Right. Sure.
And then retail kind of fell apart with the internet.
With eBay.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Good God. Wow. Yeah, so...
And I do props too.
And you do...
I would say you do props,
Now,
too.
come and see Brad out at Topanga Mall. Anyway. So I mean, God, where to start? I want to start with your origin story because I don't know your origin story. Are you from the East Coast originally?
No, here.
You are?
Born and raised here. Yeah.
Okay, where in...
I went to Taft High School.
Okay.
And Portola Junior High.
Okay, so that's Woodland Hills or...
Tarzana.
Tarzana.
I lived in Tarzana.
Tarzana, okay.
Yeah.
And did anybody in your family in the
No
industry?
film business people, yeah.
Okay, so...
What did your family do?
My dad was an executive for Executive Motorhomes, which was a company.
Oh, nice.
It was like the Cadillac of motorhomes in the 70s.
Right.
But the gas crisis knocked them out of business. And that was the end. And then he did other stuff, real estate and other things.
I see.
Yeah, so definitely not related.
No, not related. Yeah.
Not in any way. So what motivated you to the film industry?
Like I fell in love with movies when my parents took me to see For a Few Dollars More and A Fistful of Dollars in a drive-in.
Like a double feature?
A double feature.
Wow.
And I like totally was mesmerized and fell in love with movies. And in college, I took photography classes, and I wanted to do, and I did do stills on some movies.
Yeah.
And for like, non-union stuff in the late 70s, early 80s. Mm-hmm. And then I felt very detached from actually working on a movie.
Right.
And I like kind of always was gravitating towards the art department and props.
Right.
And I was always helping them. And then they started hiring me.
I see.
Like you were PAing a lot? And
Well, I was a still photographer,
So
too.
okay.
But I was making $100 a day non-union.
Yeah.
Like on these
that.
low-budget 17-day movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was art department getting more than that?
I don't know. I have no idea.
But they were having more fun.
Yeah,
They would have.
yeah. And then I would always jump in, like when I wasn't shooting, and help them. Like, oh, you need help?
Yeah.
Right.
And then like this one of the first female prop masters, besides like the ones you know
Right,
about,
of course.
was a woman named Kim Buckley.
I don't
And
know.
she did the movie Paris, Texas.
Okay, I remember
And
that.
she hired me to help her, like on commercials
Right.
and like low budget stuff. And I started doing props with her.
I see. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Like the non-union stuff.
Yeah,
And
non-union.
yeah.
I was in union, until
Till way later.
89.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I spent 5-6 years non-union.
And was that just because you didn't want to join the
No,
union?
there
or-
was really, it was hard for us to get in there.
Yeah, yeah,
there
yeah.
wasn't
Like
as
you
many
had
shows.
to, yeah, it always had to be on a show you would have to be signed up on.
Right.
And then
Show that
finally,
turned.
yeah, a show called Cold Dog Soup that I worked on, that I worked with Andy Siegel. We
Wow.
did it, and it signed, and we both got in the union.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's how long I've known Andy.
Really?
Wow,
Did you and Andy get into the union
Yeah.
together then?
Yeah, on that
no
show.
No way.
Yeah.
And you were both as prop assistants, or
No, I was the
you're
prop
the
master, and
he was
Andy was
assisting?
my
Wow.
assistant, and we
guys.
both got in, and we spent like the next 10 or 12 years together working.
Wow.
Well, more. He's still with you.
Well, yeah, but he does his own thing and
Sure.
helps. And,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Of course.
Wow.
So does that mean? I mean, I'm looking at this, and it looks like that. I mean, I don't know what the filming order was. Does that mean Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was non-union?
Yeah, that was non-union.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I
It
don't
seems like
doubt
such
it.
a big movie.
Yeah, I made $200 a day on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And you were building your ass off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was that. I don't. A lot of people don't know this, but that movie was shot all in Mexico City.
Wow.
The entire
Really?
the entire
Wow.
movie was shot at Churubusco Studios, and I was there for 1 year.
Wow.
The first director had to be replaced in like 2-3 weeks away from shooting, and then they had hired Joe Johnston, and we prepped for another 4 months,
Wow.
and then started shooting Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
So was
So all the exteriors were on stage.
Backlot.
Well, back
Oh.
then, yeah.
They built.
You
they
had to have
built the-
control of all
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it was. It
Was that one of the first traveling and like prop
Yeah.
heavy prop master show that you've done then?
Yeah, I mean that's really the show that got me a bunch of work.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, because I did that and it became a hit, and
Rocketeer.
and then that director hired me in Rocketeer and the third Jurassic Park, so that's the same director.
Right. I see.
So was the actual shrink ray a prop? Was that something that was you, or was that a production
the
design
actual
piece?
big one in the attic
Yeah.
was me and the decorator who was later my wife.
Oh.
We
A lot came out of that show.
Yeah, it did.
At
Actually.
one point.
Yeah, we shopped everything, and then we had effects. Who was a guy, Peter Chesney. I'm not sure Peter's working or not anymore. Put it together.
Wow.
But all the other stuff we built.
Nice.
Yeah, all the other gadgets.
All the stuff like for the breakfast scene that's all moving around with all the robotics. Like, how was that between set deck and I guess special effects?
That was all me.
Really?
Yeah, all of it.
What was how did all that program and get it functional and do all that?
What are you talking? What exactly are you talking
like
about?
you know the whole rig in the intro of the entire movie that's like making breakfast.
Are you? Is that in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or another one of the movies?
No, that's in Honey, I Shrunk the
I
Kids.
don't
too
even
far
remember.
back.
I don't even remember this. But
I did that in my sleep.
the original script only had the shrinking gun, and I pitched to the first director. Wouldn't this guy have a bunch of gadgets? Like that's
yeah.
what he does.
Right.
Yeah.
And the first director said to me, "I don't want any of that."
Right. Stay in your
And
lane.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
And I was like, "Whatever, dude." And the second director, I had an illustrator draw all these gadgets that
Nice.
I came up with, the coffee machine and the dog feeder and all this stuff.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And,
yeah.
and he goes, "Oh my God, these are great. Let's do all of them."
Nice.
And then he came up with some more.
Right.
Like he came up with the one on the lawn
Where they're
he's-
dangling
the rig.
over.
Yeah, he came up with that.
See that, people? That's how property masters affect a film.
Yeah.
For real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, that was going to have,
Yeah,
nothing.
Big Ray.
a big ray gun in the attic, and that was it.
Yeah.
And so
so I'm curious. I mean, that was pretty early in your career. Where did you get these skills?
I always had an imagination for it.
Well, when you were a kid, were you building crap and stuff?
No, not really.
Really?
No, I just love movies.
Yeah.
And like it was all obvious. Like, oh, this guy has this. Like, shouldn't he have these other gadgets? And like,
sure, but then you actually built them, so you had some.
Yeah. Well, I had help building them for sure.
Sure, of course.
But like I definitely came up with all of them.
So it's a vision that you have.
Yeah. It just.
Yeah. Does you feel like that's like the hallmark of your career is your vision?
Yeah, or just like I think I'm creative and having like and I always want to bring stuff to these. Yeah. I don't want to just read a script and do that. I want to say, hey, how about this?
Yep.
I want to bring something to the project.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Collaborate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're not just schlepping stuff for people.
Yeah, no.
I think that's what separates people, the best from, just yours.
Yeah.
Standard.
Who helped down in Mexico City and stuff like that? Well, you had to get miniature furniture and stuff made.
Oh, I found people there to make miniatures, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah?
I had a Mexican prop crew.
Oh, yeah. Did you bring anybody down there?
I eventually did. We had a second unit that was running almost the whole time.
Yeah.
And I brought one prop assistant eventually.
Yeah, but aside from that.
But the Mexican crew was great. And they had done giant movies in Mexico. Not stuff like this, but they did all these big movies in Mexico. Like they steered me to this guy who could make the miniatures.
Right.
Like literally carve them.
Yeah. He carved little couches and stuff.
Yeah, he did all this in the right scale and everything.
And was there a language issue or is English like a second language for them?
My main assistant spoke English.
Right.
No one else spoke English.
Yeah.
And they taught me Spanish at least so I could communicate.
Sure.
Like what a hammer and a nail and whatever, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
Yeah.
And they were great. They were really great.
Yeah, well, I believe it.
Yeah.
For sure. So, wow, that's...
So it was essentially just like you didn't have a prop shop you would have today. It was outsourcing for everything, but they would make it around town.
We had a little prop shop at the studio.
Yeah.
And the guys would...
help out with that.
Yeah, there were some very handy people there that could make stuff.
Yeah.
And, and like the dog feeder we had to totally change in Mexico. Like we built it and I had it built in LA by Rick Gamez. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a prop maker. He's still working. Nice. And then I took it there, but then Joe wanted to change it.
I see.
So we had to totally change it there.
Right.
So we're doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a lot of them. Was that an overwhelming movie for you?
No, I was
experience?
so young and it was so fun. Yeah. You couldn't phase me like you can phase me now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like but I was just so excited to be there and
everything's a possibility.
The peso was like $2,800 to the dollar.
Wow.
and on Friday we would get like a shoebox full of money. Like that's was our per diem.
Yeah.
It was like
a shoebox of peso.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Cash per diem was awesome.
Yeah, they used to give us so that was like a lot of money too for Mexico City.
Yeah.
And so at least that was fun. We could eat everywhere in Mexico.
Anywhere you wanted, right?
Yeah, that part was really fun.
Yeah, were you in a hotel the whole time, or did you?
No, I rented a house near the studio.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's fun, boy. Right out of the gate, you were having fun. I like that.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So before you started mastering, you did, I see you did assisting a bunch of, and you were a lead man on The Big Easy?
Yeah.
With Doug Fox?
Yep. I was a lead man for a decorator named Lisa Fisher.
Okay.
She still definitely doesn't work anymore.
Right.
But, yeah, she was actually banned from the set for getting into a fight with the DP.
Oh.
And I was the only one allowed on set for decorating.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Doug did it too. That's kind of when I met Doug.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So did you have interaction with him then?
Yeah, I mean we were like friendly.
Yeah.
But,
That's funny.
Yeah.
So you've known Dougie for a long time too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. I also see, and I remember, you did Lorenzo's Oil in Striking Distance in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there then, and I remember, I was like, oh, who's this guy coming in my town?
Oh, you lived in Pittsburgh?
Were you prop mastering in Pittsburgh at that time?
Funny.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh, it's this guy from L.A. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then you did the second one. I'm like, okay, well.
Well,
I'm like, I guess I'm going to have to go to L.A.
One of them was a designer I always worked with, and I understood that one. Yeah.
Sure.
And then the other one was, I don't even know how we got Lorenzo's Oil, but that, working with George Miller was amazing.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
I'll bet. And you know, mind you, there's no way I was working at that caliber at that point anyway. I wasn't going to get that feature. But
well, I wasn't working at that caliber either.
Yeah, but apparently you were. Yeah, you're the LA guy. That's why.
Your earlier credits are pretty awesome still. I think.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I was doing Hallmark movies then, so hey, it's all good. But you like working in the Berg? Berg was fun. Have you been back since then? No.
It's beautiful there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I loved working there.
Yeah, I haven't been back yet either.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're just talking about working on period type stuff. Let's talk about Rocketeer.
Yeah.
Did you have a hand in the helmet that was actually
the helmet and Rocket Pack had started before we started.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we oversaw it.
Yeah.
Once we got on the thing.
Yeah.
But it took so long to build stuff like that then. You needed more than the 10 weeks of prep, 12 weeks of prep.
Right. Yeah, you can't just 3D print it and do stuff.
That was like a 4-month project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be. I mean, since your career's expanded so much, there's got to be the learning curve of what you can do now. Like you just the project you just did compared to doing that, it was probably much harder to do Rocketeer than it was to do what you just did on Fallout, right?
Yeah, I mean, back when we did Rocketeer, that was the days of no on-set dresser.
Right.
3-person prop crew doing Rocketeer.
Yeah. Wow.
This isn't like it's just that's the way it was then.
Yeah, I wonder where that changed, because I remember that too. We did everything. We had
everything.
An E-fan on our truck. We did water gags and everything, and it was just 3 people. And now it's like you wouldn't even consider doing a TV show without 5.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. I mean,
or Fallout with 12 or whatever.
Yeah, well, that was
that's a horse of a different kind.
I mean, we did Smoke when I started. Did you do Smoke?
Yeah,
we did
Smoker,
Smoke.
Yeah, wafting, man. That had a good wafting technique, man. It was we breathed that
screamed
shit.
at for the smoke all day long.
I was gonna say I have asthma because
believe me, I don't miss smoke. That's for sure.
Not at all. Not at all. That's funny. No, you can't touch that.
No, good.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I don't want to touch, though.
That's true.
I mean, I do want to be involved. Like, what I like to do is be involved in everything. Like, I will try and help costumes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like all that stuff. I want to be involved. I don't want to just be doing props.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. I want to really collaborate with the other departments.
Yeah, including special effects. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you know, when it's going down, if it's not working, they're looking at you.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. So if there's a prop involved.
And it all needs to coincide with each other. Like, it needs to complement each other, I think, in a way, you know?
For sure. Absolutely. So, what else about Rocketeer?
What was it like? How was it? Like, is that shot in town here?
All at Disney.
All at Disney.
And locations.
Oh, really?
We shot in up north, Santa Maria, California, like the airfield. I think that's where it was. It was super fun, and I had Tim Wiles,
nice.
and Andy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we had a great time. I mean, I was still having a really great time on working.
Tim Wiles is a synonymous with having a good time.
Yeah, it just was. When we were young. I think we had a lot better of a time. That's
right.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think a lot of it had to do with youth, but it also had a lot to do with it was just a lot more fun to make movies back then.
Yeah,
everybody was having more fun.
I always liked too when there was a real director.
Right.
Like the real directors, there's one voice and one person to talk to that made the decisions, and that always made this more fun and
right than a studio.
For all of us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Has that changed a lot now? I mean, I know TV seems to have a lot more voices, do you feel like features there's too much opinions being in there, and the director doesn't have as much power?
Maybe. I mean, I don't usually work on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I usually work on stuff where it's a director that has.
Yeah. They're not going to tell that director they can't do something.
I work on, they are the ones that are in charge,
Yes.
and I only have to deal with a director.
Right.
And maybe somebody else for the money, but there's no one else to deal with.
Right.
I have done stuff that was like that, and I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
No, at all. No, yeah.
How did you like Coneheads?
It was okay. I mean, it was fine.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, we made
stuff,
a lot on Coneheads
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys made the
It was, we had some very challenging props. Like I had to have Dan Aykroyd eat a pool ball, like an edible pool ball, like off a pool table.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was tricky.
I'll bet.
And I had to like redo it and redo it and redo it. It was out of chocolate.
I was gonna say, oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But and painted.
And
But
so he had to like bite it like an apple.
yeah.
So did it have to be like white chocolate? Like
No, it was dark
Yeah.
chocolate,
Right.
and then painted.
Painted
Yeah.
with a candy
Yeah.
coating or something.
Maybe it was white chocolate. Actually, I don't remember what we did, but it had some definite challenging props in Coneheads.
Yeah. Was he
Yeah.
a good sport about it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's cool.
That always makes a difference, right?
Yeah. No, I've worked with him twice.
Oh, nice.
He's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Is that was Dan Aykroyd is the director of that?
No, it was he was just
Just
you
in
know,
it.
Starring
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
Coneheads.
Yeah, I think
Too funny.
Coneheads is the story that Tim Wiles told about Chris Farley, with saying he needed to put beer in his hair or something like that.
Oh, I think.
Yeah. I don't remember that, but
Was
I
Timmy
believe
on that
it.
with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Timmy, Andy was the on-set dresser that time.
Oh my god.
I know.
Oh yeah, I think he told me.
Like I can't get rid of the guy.
What a fucking
Wait,
crew.
so you didn't bring him on, or is it?
No, I probably
You
did.
probably.
Yeah. But yeah, so there was actually by that time on-set dressers.
Yeah. I came up as an on-set dresser. I can feel it.
Yeah.
So you did Batman Forever. Was that like was that exciting for you?
Oh yeah, I was so excited to do Batman movies. It's how the weirdest thing is how I got the job. I had met Barbara Ling one time at a party.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just hi, and I really didn't talk to her.
Right.
I was on a dog walk in Griffith Park with my dogs,
Wow.
and I saw her walking her dog, and she said, "Stop!" And I don't even know how she knew who I was.
Right.
She said, "Do you want to do Batman?"
Wow.
And I'm like, "Yeah."
So wait,
And,
you didn't even have any. You've never had a conversation with
You
her
met her
before?
once.
Or-
No.
Really?
Well,
she
I
just
mean,
knew
maybe
you were a
for
prop
minute.
master.
Well, I guess she knew about me or
Yeah.
something from someone probably recommended me to her, and she just and I said, "Oh, please, like I'm not gonna get this job."
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And I went home, and like a month later, they called me, and I met Joel, and I got the job.
Nice.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
and that was really. I mean, we had a really good time on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
were you a fan
Create-
of, or how much did you know about Batman before you took that?
A little. I mean, when I was a kid, I also collected comic books, so
Sure.
I liked comic books.
So you knew, yeah.
I was more Marvel.
Right.
And like, but you know, I knew
Yeah.
enough about Batman.
Yeah, Barbara's cool. I liked her.
Yeah, I do too.
She's very hands off and
Yeah.
let you do your job. That
yeah,
was-
yeah. No, I believe me, I'd love to work with Barbara again.
yeah.
Yeah,
Have you not worked with her since?
I did 2 movies with her.
Oh,
and
2
then,
movies then.
What else did she do
And-
with you?
Batman and Robin.
Oh,
I did-
Oh, right. I didn't realize.
I did.
that.
Yeah,
She did too.
Oh, she did both those.
Right.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There it is. Right time.
Yeah.
And then you did Time to Kill in between.
Yeah, so I worked with Joel for like 3 straight years, and then I said no to Joel, and he never called me again.
Oh no.
Yeah,
On one of the movies, I wanted to do something else, and he got like mad at me.
Yeah, we just heard that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the movie you said no on though?
It
I
was the
wonder?
phone booth movie.
Oh really?
Yeah, and then I
Oh,
think
right.
Tim ended up doing that movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
because Tim had done the Batmans with me.
Yeah.
I see. Well,
Yeah.
Tim hung out for a while. When
Yeah.
when you got the Batman movies and I mean obviously all the gaggy type of props, and we actually displayed some of your props at
nice.
at Comic-Con or
Nice.
WonderCon this year, and we went through. Was there any like any gags that you had, like, because that's back when special effects is gonna send, like, a lot of the stuff had to, like, kind of coincide. Did you guys, were you involved, like, on set with the with a lot of the gags that were happening? Like,
well, we talked to effects, and if it was a real gag,
like a stunts rig,
we would work out the prop with the thing with effects. But we had, at that time, we had 2 illustrator prop builders in our office.
Wow.
Like, they could actually, they like illustrate a Batarang.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I could show Joel, and these guys could build the thing on their desk.
Wow.
I mean, they were so talented.
Like in a day, or
no, like in a week.
Okay.
But they could, like, and then we could do this in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some of the, like, effects would maybe take over, like, some of the Batarangs were actually metal, like aluminum. And so they would take over some of that for us and help us.
Yeah.
But we had to farm out everything to vendors ourselves.
Right.
Because there was no SAT then.
Right.
This is us finding people that could do all this.
So these are individual companies that don't necessarily work in film all the time,
some of them
too?
for sure.
Yeah.
Like, we did a lot of neon stuff, and we did a lot of, on the second Batman, we did all this LED stuff way before they were using LEDs. And I was
like, in what? Like, what kind of
Mr. Freeze is all LED. And
really?
we actually,
Wow.
like, helped do all that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff. You mentioned neon. I see you here under tape
Oh yeah,
heads.
I did neon on. You
were like
I
a neon
worked with
artist?
a neon artist.
Wow.
Who blew neon, and she taught me how to do neon.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you still do it to this day?
No, I wish. I like it a lot, but I didn't.
It's always fascinating to me, man.
Yeah.
It's like a gas,
that was on
right?
tape heads. Yeah.
Right.
I made some bamboo that's in the show, and I don't know why they gave me that weird credit, but they did.
What's the credit?
It just says neon.
It just says neon.
I know. I made this neon that's in the show.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's good. People don't get credit for anything, and you got it for neon.
I know,
love
it's
that.
weird, isn't it?
It's crazy. So you did Patch Adams, so you got to work with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
What was it like to work with him with props? Was he a real proppy guy? He seems like he would be.
Yeah, he's not that difficult with props.
Mm-hmm.
But he wants it a certain way, and then it's fine.
Right.
Like Jim Carrey
That's
is
what I was going to say.
like really last fucking second.
Really?
Yeah.
Like roll
man.
camera. Well, it'd be great if I had a little tiki glass in his thing, and like right then.
Yeah,
Right.
the comedians.
Yeah,
like that
comedians.
He was really the hardest. I mean, he's
I
cool,
would imagine.
but the hardest for props.
Right, because he's just conjuring shit up.
And
in
he
his
would
wild
really make it up
imagination.
at the last second.
Do you like that challenge? Or?
No.
Well, now when
I
you're
mean,
a perfectionist.
I'll do it.
Yeah, of
for
course.
sure, because that's our job to try and do
Yeah.
it no matter what.
Yeah.
Like that's what I felt. Like I would try and pull this off, no matter what it took.
Of course.
I would never say no to anyone, and
Yeah.
like we would always hopefully pull it off.
Yeah.
But
He seemed to be happy with you because you did both Bruce Almighty and Evan Almighty.
the director, that was Tom
Yes.
Shadyac.
Right.
And he loved me, and
Yeah.
so I did
Yeah.
3 movies with Tom.
Nice.
I'm dealing with the comedy type of thing right
Yeah.
now with the props.
Yeah,
last
well,
minute.
that's the thing. To me, comedy's the hardest because
It's really
they
hard,
are
so
yeah.
conjuring stuff up all the time.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, you're a hero if you make it happen. But
Yeah,
you want to rip your hair out.
So was Jim Carrey's crazy like light up headpiece
Yeah,
scientific?
we made that. Yeah.
That wasn't last minute though.
No, God, no.
gonna say.
He didn't do any. I think he was even smart enough. Well, he's definitely smart enough. He realized you can't make shit at the last second in a
Right.
Batman movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in a regular contemporary comedy,
Sure.
he would do it all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes we couldn't shoot the scene, not because of me, but he came up with some crazy stuff at the last second.
Right.
And they're like, okay, we'll have to do this scene another day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
well,
only so much you can do at a certain time.
and I'm sure his instincts were pretty spot on.
Oh, yeah, he's funny.
Yeah.
Super funny.
So-
yeah.
Yeah. It's all good. Again, as long as they're willing to wait
Yeah.
for stuff, I'm fine to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's like a comedy is an organic thing, that just.
Did you
percolates.
guys see Bruce Almighty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did that whole Post-it thing. All of it.
Really?
The walls, all of it.
Really?
The costume and all the walls.
Wow. Really?
Like
that almost that's usually production design, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I've always...
Do you volunteer?
I always
say
do
I want to do that.
Like I'll do that.
Right.
So that's what I've always done.
Yeah.
Is I will take on anything. I want to take it on. I want the challenge and I want it. But the thing about that is, so I showed Tom Shadyac all the colors of Post-its.
Yeah, yeah.
And he picked, okay, these 7. And we did, I had these kids handwrite for a week, these college kids, and paid them.
Right.
And they took a week and their arms were all, hands were all cramped up and they were dying from writing all these.
I'm sure.
And I was ready. And Tom called me into his office and he said, you know what? I only want one color.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And so I had to go back to these kids and the kids said no.
So
we had to get new kids.
Where were these kids? Where were these kids from?
We put an ad out. And got
really?
all these,
Sweatshop kids.
Would you just pay them some cash?
Yeah, because it was all handwritten. And then we did make Xerox stuff for the wallpaper, copies of it. And then we were supposed to do the changeover overnight. And then between the first half of the day and lunch, he said, I want to do the same.
Wow.
And so the whole crew had to jump in.
Who said
and
this?
They did.
Who said this?
The director, Tom Shadyac.
He just decided at lunch.
You know what? I want to do that scene after lunch.
He's like, I'm feeling this
holy
scene.
Shit.
And you were about how far into? I mean, what percentage did you have done?
We had everything done.
Right.
But I was planning on having a day to do all the walls and stuff. The walls were completely into 3 rooms.
Right.
And so the whole crew jumped in with what we had made and we did it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you had grips and stuff helping you put up.
Yeah, everyone. The whole crew, literally everyone did it. Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. You know what? Again, that was a lot of what it used to be like back in the day, the old guy says, where, it was a collaborative effort. Everybody jumped in. It wasn't about, that's not my job. You better call special effects in here. We just did whatever it took to get the damn shot.
Yeah. For sure.
And everybody was willing and happy to do it.
Yeah.
So I missed that.
I liked that movie.
Yeah, it was a great movie for sure. And so let's see.
Did you do the giant cookie?
Yeah, that was that almost got me fired, actually.
What?
A story.
So,
we like stories.
The giant, I had done Patch Adams and with Tom Shadyac.
Yeah.
And he loved me, and I was like the first call to do Bruce, one of them, I have to have Brad.
Right.
So the first day of shooting is that cookie. That 11.
The first day.
First day.
Jesus.
It's an 11-foot cookie.
Stupid AD.
And it's mostly foam except for a section or sections that you could actually pull up.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
And it's always, we talked about it always having an exterior like it was. And the day before he goes, I want to bring it into the bakery. I said, Tom, we can't get it into the bakery.
Because it's just too big.
It was one piece.
Yeah.
And if we break it apart, cut it apart to get it in the door, how am I going to put it back together? And he's mad at me on the day one. I can't do this. And of course it was fine.
Right.
But
you had to live through it.
Yeah, I had to live through it. And then I got through that, and then the rest of the show was, me and Tom were great.
How did you travel with that cookie?
Well, that was on the Universal backlot.
Oh, really? So you just kind of...
Well, we had a truck bring it there.
Yeah, it never fit in a prop trailer or anything.
Oh, God, no. It was only set up for the day.
That's right. You don't want that thing on your trailer. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
It was, like an $11,000 cookie or something.
That you used for just the day.
Bungee it to the top.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You remember all these things I don't remember.
I know, right?
Well, I don't even remember the cookie yet. It's like you have to bring it up. Remember this stuff. I have so much PTSD in my life now. I was going to say
you start twitching. Cookie.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucker.
Yeah.
That's funny. Jurassic Park 3.
Oh yeah.
How'd you score that?
That same director as Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh really?
Oh, okay.
And The Rocketeer.
Right. Nice.
And Yeah, that was fun. I mean, there's not a ton of props in the movie.
Right.
But it was fun. We got to shoot in Hawaii.
Yeah, because 3 is the one where they're more isolated, right?
Yeah, it's just that the Teo Leone and yeah, they're just that they go to say they go back to the.
Is the one with the underground like bunker that the kid kind of? I have to like bring up.
I don't. Again. I actually don't remember.
I would say I feel like once every 2 years I have a Jurassic Park marathon and I start to go through, but 2 and 3 always blend together for me. Yeah, well, the newer ones, the 3 are the ones I really care about.
Well, 2 with Vince Vaughn, I don't know about that one.
2 with Vince Vaughn with the trailer where they're going back to the thing. Yeah. You don't like 2?
It's okay. I mean, the first one's
of course,
the best one.
Who prop mastered the first one?
I think it was Jerry Moss.
Jerry Moss. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
You can look that up, but yeah. So let's talk Coen Brothers, man. You've done a few.
I've only done 2. I've been asked to do more, and I was actually asked to do Barton Fink, and I chose.
Ellen was too.
Ellen was.
Well, I actually was asked before Ellen. I know because.
So no wonder they were so pissed by the time they got.
I know.
I got the Rocketeer at the same time, I chose the Rocketeer.
Who ended up doing Barton Fink?
I think it was Emily Ferry.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
No, wasn't it Ellen Freund?
No. She said she turned it down, and they never called her back again.
Oh well, they never called me back. But
well,
they
you did
call
Hail
me
Caesar,
back.
right?
I did. Well, they called me for A Serious Man also, and I wasn't available. But so I finally did a Coen Brothers movie, and and then I did Tragedy of Macbeth with Joe.
Right, I saw that too. That had a crown.
Yeah, well, it has weapons.
Right.
And we did a lot more than, of course, the props, like I always do.
Right.
Like I did the battlefield and the flags and all that stuff.
Nice.
So once like I will jump in, and do stuff.
That's why you're who you are.
That's why I want a challenge and I want to help and I want to get in there, and so I did a lot. Like me and Nancy really worked together.
I love that woman.
And Nancy would say, "Do this." I'm like, "Yes, I'll do that." Yeah.
Very cool. What else did you work with Nancy on? Anything?
I did. Both of the Coen Brother things, Hail Caesar and that, and then I started Gray Man. But when they shut down for COVID at one point, they laid me off by text.
Yeah. What? I heard about all this.
And then I just was offered a Soderbergh movie. I've done 8 Soderbergh movies. Right. And so I jumped and went and did another Soderbergh movie.
Yeah, because Nancy called me to come in after that.
She's
like, it's all done. You just need to come and do it. And I'm like, I'm not going to do Brad's movie.
Well, I was annoyed.
I'm sure I was that's driving. Bullshit.
Yeah. It was so stressful at that point during a show like that during COVID.
Yeah.
Because we were making a lot for that show, and it just everyone's all freaked out by COVID.
Right.
And it was stressing me out too. Like even the crew every day was like, that person came in our office without a mask. Like I was getting so sick of that stuff. Yeah. And then they, I got a driving one day, and we're only 2 weeks away from shooting.
Wow.
And so we got a lot of balls up in the air. On a show like that, 2 weeks away,
2 weeks
and
out.
Then I get a text, "You're laid off for COVID," and I'm like, "What?" Like I'm a department head.
But they laid off everybody, right?
Yeah, they laid off everyone, and then like a week later, I got a call, and I said, "Okay, I'm leaving."
Right. Wow. Yeah, that was some bad times, man.
It just you don't lay people off by a text.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah, without reasoning.
The new filmmakers.
Yeah. It literally was just you're laid off?
Yeah, like you're laid off starting tomorrow.
But you know what? There's so much of that goes on out there. It's ridiculous.
What's it like working with Soderbergh?
I love Soderbergh. He's like the only show and tell I had with Soderbergh was on my first movie. I never had a show and tell again.
Really?
Like he's like...
It's just like that trust that transferred over?
I've hired you to do this.
Right.
I trust you, do it.
Yep.
Like Clint Eastwood, the one Clint Eastwood movie I did.
Yeah, well, I hear that a lot.
Yeah. So Soderbergh is the same way. Right. And then if there's super key things, I would show him. Yeah. But like the little things. You don't have to. Yeah, he trusts me to do it. And in the 8 movies, maybe 2 or 3 times he said, "Hey, Brad, do you have another choice of this?"
Yeah,
right.
And I'd say yes, and he goes, "Great, that's fine."
Yeah,
right.
So you just back yourself up, but you
Yeah,
know you're going to get the right thing that's right for the story, and you know the characters.
I loved working with Soderbergh. I probably went to 8 countries with him. Wow. Like, you'll go to countries for 2 days with him.
Really?
Yeah, like on Contagion, we went to countries for like 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah. That process, to me, it's fast.
Yeah.
Is that stressful going to countries for 3? Like,
well, it's
you jump on a plane, you like unload, try to get all your props and get it in order, and then jump back on a plane.
2 movies we shot getting off the airplane.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
one we shot in the airport getting off the airplane.
So the props were with you in a bag, or
can carry. I hand carry like
everything.
I have stuff on my back sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of how fast.
Sure.
If you have a 7 o'clock call, you could be shooting at 7:06.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, like you have to be ready.
So camera has the camera assembled on their back.
He shoots the movies.
Oh, really?
He's the operator.
Yeah.
And DP.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah.
On all his films.
Yeah. Wow. Now, shoots them all, and there's almost no lighting. On Behind the Candelabra, there was real lighting.
Right.
But most of them, there's no lighting. On the first movie I did, the most stressful moment is we shot in Ireland, and then we went to Barcelona, and then we were coming back to New Mexico to shoot in a diner. And I had called the caterer, because we travel and land, go to sleep, and the next morning we're shooting in New Mexico.
Right.
No prep.
This is how it is. No recon?
Nothing.
Wow.
This is how it is with him. And I called the caterer, and he's like, "Yeah, no problem. I ordered food with the caterer." And I come to work, and we're shooting at 7:06. And we have an exterior shot first. And then we go to the caterer, and he's like, "Hey, man, I have to feed the crew first."
Yike.
And I have no food, nothing. And we're going inside the diner in like 10 minutes. And we go in the diner, and I'm like, "Okay, well, this is the end of me." And,
no doubt.
And the entire diner had neon.
Yeah.
And it was all flickering. And it took the electricians over an hour to fix it.
Dude.
And it saved me.
I'll say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what saved me.
That's a sphincter time.
And I learned a lot about working with him at that moment. Like how I can't trust anyone.
Right.
I can't trust.
Yeah, you have to have backup plan B and C.
Yeah, or just there's no way I can trust our caterer.
Right.
Like
So if you were to do that again, how would you?
I would have hired I didn't have a crew there. That's another problem.
Also, when did you know you were going there to do that?
When I was in Spain.
So you were already out of country.
Yeah, and by myself.
So they're like building the schedule as they're shooting and as they're going.
Well, I knew I was going there, but I didn't have a crew really.
Yeah.
Working there.
Yeah.
Right.
They started, and I thought maybe they started 3 days before, but I also thought we were set with the caterer. Like I was fine.
Right. Sure.
And then. Yeah.
And then you weren't.
And then I learned my lesson, and but there was some moments that were really stressful.
So is the stuff with Soderbergh as it comes, is it like all reasonable stuff that with no prep that you can figure out, or is it almost just as bad as like the Jim Carrey thing we were talking about?
No, most of it's normal props. I mean, in Contagion, we had some interesting things.
Sure.
Right.
But we had a decent amount of prep, and we were ready. Like me and Carolyn Lausick prepped it all. And we were kind of prepped.
Yeah.
Because we were traveling. We started in Hong Kong for a month.
Right.
And then we shot in Macau, too. And then, so we had
you were in like 4 different continents, too.
We shot it. Yeah. We shot in a lot of,
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And it was just you for a lot of this?
No,
like, where
me
did
and
you
Carolyn went to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And then in the States, I had Carolyn, and we had crews. And we shot in Chicago and in Atlanta, San Francisco, and then we shot in London, Morocco, Switzerland.
So logistics, logistics is just insane there. Yeah. Like just the planning is harder than the prop work on that.
Yeah, well, I have the props with me too.
Yeah. But how about kit? What do you do with kit?
It's all private jets. It's not commercial. And so we can have our props with us.
Right.
That's another interesting thing about how we worked.
Right.
Like we were always on private jets, or yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
I could have
I
all the
was gonna
props
say.
with me.
So what's your corner? Is it like a stack of like 12 bins, or is it?
Yeah, like whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like I have rolling things.
Yeah.
And all. When I went to Ireland though, on the first movie, the stuff went through customs and a lot of my props were stolen.
Yeah, I was going to say because and then there's also manifest that you have to do.
Yeah.
Shipping.
Yeah, and that was a little hairy. Like I didn't even have all my stuff when I landed in Ireland.
Wow,
so things were missing. Yeah.
So what did you do? What did you do?
Well, I had shoppers and we replaced stuff. It just was different stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Because it's all contemporary stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
was it established or at that point? No, okay, so that's lucky.
It was literally first day of shooting kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was. We started in Ireland, so that's right when we were starting.
That's why you can't remember the big cookie.
Right.
Okay.
I know because it's all.
There's too much trauma involved.
I know.
Seriously,
our jobs are a lot of trauma.
Yeah, it is, and we just in the moment you're just dealing with it, so you're not thinking about
exactly.
it. And then later on, you like watch it and you think, I did all that. Holy shit! What
Yeah.
Well,
I know. Yeah.
That's like what I always say. Like when the first time I read Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I was sweating bullets in that, and I was like, I was really starting to have a panic attack. I'm like, and I come out and they're like,
I know.
What do you think? And I'm like, are we actually shooting all of that? It's like, yeah, okay, thanks. I mean, I was, when you look at it in a whole, it's overwhelming. That's why you have to break it down into little pieces
for sure.
and not think too far ahead, right?
Yeah, you know what I realize now is the first time you read a script, it's the worst.
And
the second time you read it,
right,
it becomes more manageable in your head.
I think I was talking to a different prop master about that this week because I just read a new script for a movie I might be doing, and I was like, it seems hopeless. Like, and I was like, am I the only person that feels like it's hopeless? And I'm just so stressed after I first read it, and then every single second time, I think I'm trying to connect the dots more. Right. That it becomes more manageable.
Right. Yeah, it really happens.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the first time you read it, even though it's terrifying, you automatically start compartmentalizing and putting things in
the puzzle pieces are just thrown over the room, I think, and that's where it is.
I mean, I try to read a script the first time just clean, but I never do. I always have a pad of paper next to me. They're like, if there's things that are going to jump out at me right away, I have to start making a note.
Yeah, I always never just read it. I'm always, from the first time I read it, making notes.
But with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I couldn't do that. You couldn't have a piece of paper. They took your phone away, the whole 9 yards. You just had to suffer through it, man. I was like, holy Jesus.
Well, they stuck you in a room, right?
Oh, yeah.
You could never take one home?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, that sucks.
No, not until you got on. Well, no, actually, that's not true. That's not true. They gave us a script, and we got to do our breakdowns, and then they took it back. And then, every once in a while, you have to say, yeah, I need it again. And then back in the room you go, and then you have to make your notes, and hopefully,
The show I'm on right now, the script is, it's also like a super NDA show. They have the script on a website called Embershot or whatever, and it's designed to where you have to have a password to sign in, and it's super annoying because it needs to like load as you're like going through it, and sometimes it like glitches or whatever.
Right.
But if you screenshot anything, it will automatically kick you out of the program and it will block you out to be able to, so you can't come back in, and it's meant for stuff like that.
Yeah, that's messed up.
It's super messed up.
Yeah,
because you got to do your job. At a certain point, if you're signing an NDA, then you're part of the damn team. So stop.
Yeah. I mean, that's on Fallout was like that.
Right.
It's just reading the scripts all unsynchronized.
Right.
And they're changing them, and you keep reading.
Yeah.
And it's like I go home and read. That's all I was doing.
Right.
Did they change the script a lot?
A lot, yeah.
And you cross-boarded everything, right?
No, it was one more of. There was like little pickups a lot, but it was there was one episode at
that's
a time.
good. That's
the first two were a block.
Right.
And then it was one episode at a time.
And what was how many days per episode to shoot?
It was like 9 to 11.
Okay, that's pretty tight.
It was intense.
Yeah.
I think they were always more.
Right.
Or they would just leave stuff.
Sure.
That you
clean up later.
Yeah, in another episode,
right.
all of a sudden you're shooting a scene from episode 2.
Right.
Like we never got to.
And how much prep did you have in that show?
I had 15 weeks.
Okay.
It was
a lot of manufacturing.
Yeah, from the first season there was like an entire prop house full of props.
Right.
That was overwhelming. Like how much stuff they had bought.
That. Right.
Yeah.
And they shipped it off from New York?
They all shipped it out. It was like the props alone, I think, were 4 40-footers.
Jeez.
Yeah, and it was like looking at this stuff at the beginning, it was like, oh my God.
Did you put you up in a warehouse or a soundstage? Or?
Yeah, it's all at Western.
Okay.
It was all there.
Wow.
There's a lot of manufacturing though. I remember the couple days I did with you guys, you even saying it's like there's a custom made crazy prop
like
every
the hardest
single
prop someone's
day.
ever had every day.
Every day.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
But after a while, it doesn't faze you anymore.
Yeah.
You just have to move on.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
you just gotta keep going.
You just go through it with whoever's making it and hope for the best because it's made so fast.
Yeah.
That you just...
Did you have illustrators on staff?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many?
Well, we had one
full
time, and then, like
the shops.
The shops now, yeah.
Did you have good luck with the shops? I mean, were you farming out to a couple different shops, or did you do everything?
Oh, no, I definitely...
Lonnie did some work for you this time.
So There You Have It did a lot, and SAT did a lot.
Right.
Yeah, and then I had Legendary Costumes do stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a bunch of Quantum did a lot. Yeah, and yeah.
So, do you normally work the set as a prop master?
I used to, not
but
on
now
TV.
You can.
Well, not on streaming episodes. It's impossible.
Right. We were just having this discussion.
I could barely breathe.
Right. That's the thing.
Like I can't
right?
work on set. But I did as a prop master, even on the Batman's, work on set.
Right.
Like the guy on set all day.
Yeah, it's easier on a feature though, right?
100%.
That's what Ellen was just saying. Is like, well, the idea is you prep out and you prop out. You have the props for the whole entire movie before day one. Of
yeah,
shooting.
but that never can happen.
Of course.
She said that. I'm like, really? I've never had that.
That's never happened in my career.
Never.
That's not.
But at least enough for you to be able to be present more on set for a lot of the feature.
Well, I mean, and you could also have every prop in the works, okay? The balls in the air or whatever, but they all need to be massaged throughout the shooting.
Yeah.
And because some things you don't want at the beginning of the show, you're going to get them in and get them back out. You don't have room for everything on your trailer all the time either. But yeah, because I was playing around with this idea, talking to Michael Bates last time about him being on set on every show that he does. We talked about, he did a pilot here and there, or he did a TV show where, they were like, well, you're supposed to be in this production meeting. He's like, yeah, no, I'm on set with the director. And they're like, well, you can't do that. And I'm wondering if I want to see what your thoughts were about, do you think that there's a world in which in television we could go back to that, where you can have like an assistant, one of your assistants, whether it's Andy or whoever, who can sit in on the meetings. You're still overseeing everything, but it's getting translated to you so you can then be on set. Or do you think that that's more important to be outside and in the creative mix of it before it gets to set? I mean, they both have weight, being on set and
I think
prepping.
you can do it any way you want to do it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because Andy was on set, like, oh, that thing looks great.
Right.
Like, well, I had nothing to do with that. Like, you should thank Brett. It was like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, if you're on set, it's they think the people on set are
doing
responsible for all.
Really?
I think they
a lot of times, depending on who it is. Yeah.
Sometimes, but Not all the time,
no,
but for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, for me, it's like, and again, we talked about this with Ellen, where it's like, you, it's your baby. You've done all this, and then you turn it over, and then you just hope it's going to like play.
Well, I feel, of course, comfortable turning over to Andy.
Sure,
he's going to make it look the best it can possibly look on set.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That, again, it helps when you can have an actual prop master as your assistant, as opposed to people who've never done it before, and especially if you're doing television and you want to do that thing where I'm on set, but I have another prop master who's prepping, so they know what they're doing too. I don't know. I'm just playing around with that.
I'm still on the side of the creative. I like the, I like in the meetings and coming up with the ideas is all where it's the formulation of the prop. You know what I mean? And I get the being on set is where the tire meets the
rubber meets the
rubber
road.
meets the road.
That's
what Michael said.
Right.
But I think the formulation is like in the creativity of that is the more thing, and things will change on set. But
sure,
I like being in those meetings and coming up with the ideas.
And that's the thing. I mean, I always feel like I just need to clone myself because I like doing both. I like being in the creative process of a television show, but on set, that's where things change. When you're like. And you could be part of that process too, or like they get stuck with something, and then they might need you could make a suggestion for something, and and then you feel like you're more part of the whole process. I guess.
You definitely feel like. But I'm happy doing especially on a show like that.
Yeah, that's
like I was super happy because you're in there's so many meetings.
Right.
Like there's 5 meetings a week.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not like one meeting.
No, I know.
And so.
And then the tech scout.
Plus all the phone calls that you have to be on all the time with everybody, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't able to do all the tech scouts because it's too much.
Yeah. No, we don't talk about that much. How much tech scouts do property masters typically go on? Because I'm very selective of which ones I'm gonna go on. I'm invited to all of them usually, but it's always like I'll go to like one where it's like, okay, there's a prop that has to be embedded into this set, that I need to see this, But
I mean,
on features, I go to all of it.
You go to all of it.
Oh yeah,
yes, the whole absolutely. Thing.
Yeah,
because there's so much logistics involved. Yeah. So, but on like on a TV show, I mean, if I could, I'd go to every tech scout because there's always information to be gleaned. But usually, you're getting like 5% of information from a tech scout.
And it becomes a timing thing. It's like I could be here, or I could be prepping.
You can't do there's not enough time in the day.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll just like look at the itinerary of what the tech scout is and say, okay, I'll take my golf cart and I'll meet you there, and then I'm out.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Like, if a crazy set that had a lot of props, I would show up.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. All restaurants and all stuff like that, I show up.
Oh yeah,
because of logistics.
All these background props and stuff too.
Oh yeah, and then can I use a kitchen or where can I get power and how close can I be and all that stuff.
Yeah. If not, you can get seriously
screwed, man. Yeah, you do not want to make that shit up on the day.
No.
Yeah, it's all about prep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the only thing that's going to save your ass.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What did you do as a property master on U2 the Joshua Tree?
Yeah, I was going to ask that too. Damn it.
Oh yeah, so
sorry.
No, I'm glad you did.
Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I did a year of commercials.
Just because you wanted to not.
No, I got hooked up with a designer.
Yeah,
and I got commercial after commercial after commercial, and then he was doing this, and this is the movie behind them.
At their concert?
At the concert.
Oh.
It lasted the whole concert.
Wow.
So we shot...
So it's literally a feature. It's like an hour and a half long.
Yeah, it's a feature, and it was all these, for the songs. It was directed by Anton Corbin or whatever. I think that's his name.
Okay.
The guy who did all the images for Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
So we shot a little movie for each song, and they were behind the band.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What props did that entail? Like, was there actual characters and stuff in it?
Oh yeah, there was
Was there a script?
No.
No. They just
was them discussing what they want.
I see.
Yeah. Like one of the songs where there were like refugees.
Yeah.
And so there was all this. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think you could probably see it online.
Probably.
But, yeah. So it was super fun.
Like how long of a shoot was that?
About 2 weeks.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a quick one.
Yeah, it was quick.
That's pretty cool, though.
I just love doing it.
Yeah.
And I went to it was at the Rose Bowl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So I went and saw it. It was super cool.
Are you a YouTube fan?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I had seen him before that. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him at the Sphere when they did.
Oh my God,
that
that's
opening show at
awesome.
the Sphere. It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
They do some beautiful graphics.
That's fun.
Wow, Perry Mason.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What is it? MacGuffin Award-winning
Yeah.
prop master for Perry Mason. There was a lot of on that show. There was like the not like I obviously not like the Bruce Almighty stick it notes, but they have a lot of like the photos and kind of like boards where you do that.
Stuff,
so a lot of those types of evidence stuff. So I'm assuming you
we
handled
did
the whole of that
all
type
it,
of stuff too.
Yeah.
Man, when that has popped up, like I've worked with production designers that I'm like, oh, I'll do this, and they're like, no, I want to do this, and specifically because that's where like I don't know, it's the line where I mean I'm not going to argue with them because it's the production designers handle our artwork, right?
You mean the set decorator?
Production designers,
right.
They're in charge of artwork.
Well,
on most things,
yeah, sure, picking. I mean
they
work with the decorator, yeah,
sure,
yeah, okay,
or creating art.
Right.
I guess I should say, right? So that's where, I mean, I've come into that, where is that artwork? Or
what I was doing is evidence.
Right.
That's different. Like, yeah.
Sure.
But once it becomes up on the board or stuff like that.
Yeah, we did all of that.
Yeah.
All of that, yeah.
You did the murder boards and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The murder boards. That's
Right.
The murder boards were hard.
That's why it's so hard.
People weighing in on that stuff.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, it was like super overwhelming, like, because they, they're all the showrunners are like talking, and it's like, oh boy.
Well, it's a blueprint for this show, for the episode, and you have to be able to track it, otherwise you lose your audience.
Exactly.
Right? So it's important. That's why it's a prop.
Yeah.
And the reason, of course, I did that is because it was 1930s.
Yeah.
And the first season looked really good.
Yeah.
And, so once again, the period thing.
The period thing.
That's what I want to do.
It's just so much
I don't want to do a show with iPhones.
Well, or a show where you're getting everything on Amazon.
No,
right? Okay, so I mean, as much as I hate doing it, it's just often what's required. I'm certainly not going to go out to Target and get something if I could get it on Amazon.
No,
it's the same difference. Okay, but it's not the same difference as finding something that's period and has some tactile,
No, I know, and then going to antique stores and malls, and because I love doing that.
Right?
Yeah, you do it anyway.
Yeah, I do it anyway. I do it on the weekends anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So
and you're always there, so you know what they have.
I was going to say that. How often have you just been running the show and then you just like find stuff for the show that you happen to be working on? Is that happening?
No, I actually have. It has to be in my head that I'm shopping for the show. Usually, like
trying to separate your personal life.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's not even that. It's just my head is. I'm not in the. I would try and go home once in a while, not like forget about it.
Yeah,
because it's too much.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Now, is that something that you've developed over the years, where you can disconnect? And
now I can disconnect a little more. Like I have to disconnect.
Yeah,
or I'm going to be, like in a straitjacket.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, because for years I would, live, eat, and breathe.
So did I.
The freaking show, no matter what time of day it was, or wake up in the middle of the night, stay up in the middle of the night thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm to the point of where, like on a Sunday, I have to like pull the call sheet out, see what we're shooting on Monday, because I just don't remember, because I'm just like made that separation. I mean, I'm not there, so I'm not doing it.
No, I have to shut it off now. It's become too much too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our connected world, it's made it a little too much.
Right.
Yeah. So you can shut it off.
Yes.
There's a lot of people who's like, oh, there's no. When you go home as a prop master, you take your work with you. That's not necessarily true.
Well, I think it's true when you're younger.
Yeah, I did it for 25 years.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Now there's no way.
I did it till I had my kid.
Right.
Yeah. I think the minute I come home and see him, that computer's not coming out.
Yeah.
Like, and
exactly.
that's maybe for an hour before I go to bed. But
right. Well,
but
that's good.
it's just it's not. And I'm just even when I'm like I'm going to do this when I get home, and just nope.
Sure.
It just isn't.
Well, and again, I think part of that too is as we get older, like we talked about with Ellen, you know what you're doing, so you know that you're covered. Where when you're younger, you're like, you're so scared that you're gonna fuck up. That you're constantly thinking about it, making sure you did. Now it's like second nature.
Yeah. You have a lot more confidence.
Yeah, exactly. And you have people around you that you can trust, and for the most part, right? So
what's your favorite period to do?
Okay, so I've done a piece of a Western in Hail Caesar. I've never done a Western, and Westerns are from your childhood. My favorite genre, and I've never gotten a Western.
Really?
Wow. No.
Have you tried to like seek one out or?
Well, I almost had one, but it didn't happen. It was called Ghost Riders in the Storm. It was a movie directed by Jan de Bont. Remember Jan de Bont?
Yes.
And I met him, and it was scary meeting this guy, too.
And he was directing.
Yeah, he was directing that movie. And it never happened. I don't know if he ever directed anything again.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he had some big hits.
Right.
And then kind of disappeared. So I got that, and then it never happened.
Huh.
But they don't make that many Westerns.
Not anymore.
Not now,
unfortunately.
Sure. But I always wanted to do a Western and never. Now I'm too old. I'm not going to do a Western.
I know.
Ellen
did The Quick and the Dead, and I'm so jealous. It's such a good movie. Did you?
Yeah, that's a good looking movie. I like
love that film.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I love Westerns. I like watch them all the time.
I know, right? Yeah. Especially those Sergio Leone.
Oh yeah,
right?
and all those. I watch all the spaghetti Westerns too.
I know, that's what Quentin was in love with. That.
Yeah, he loves the same things I do. He really does.
For sure. That was fun. It was fun doing Binding the Law, because I had never done Westerns before either on that. So I've told the story before where I had to put the spurs on Leo the first time, and I'm down there on his boot trying to put the damn thing on, and one of the Wranglers leaned over and said, "It's upside down." Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it's a lot of tack and
stuff. But it's
a lot
fun. It's so gritty and leather, and I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah. Oh, I would have liked it probably, but now I'm not. I mean, if I got offered a Western now, I probably would do it.
For sure.
It might kill me.
Yeah. Come on, you just did Fallout. If that didn't kill you, you could do a Western.
Yeah.
Wow. Westerns are pretty straightforward.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, maybe the Coen brothers would have another Western in them or something. So, Richard Jewell, that must have been an interesting.
Yeah, so I always
historic piece.
Yeah,
I liked that movie.
My bucket list person was Clint Eastwood.
Oh.
That's who.
Okay, sure.
That was it.
Yeah.
And so.
If it wasn't a Western, at least it was Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. So that's the only person I ever, because I grew up and I wanted to work with. And Mike Sexton couldn't do that movie. Oh. And I said, Mike, get me in there. And he did.
Nice.
And I got to do the movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got a great reputation, too.
Thanks. And it was, I loved working with Clint. It was just like working with Soderbergh.
You did a show and tell?
Yeah, so the first, I didn't do a show.
You didn't do a show and tell at all?
He showed up the day before shooting.
Oh, yeah?
But he tested me on the first day. This was really good.
Did you get to talk to him before those first couple of days at all?
Nope.
So it was
met
just
him.
Prep it out?
Met him one time. Well, I met him in prep in his office.
Yeah.
Talked for a little while, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then the first day, there was it was 1972. And there was $100 bill in the scene. And he's standing behind me. It was the first shot.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
And I hand, I forgot who held the $100 bill.
Sure.
The actor, the $100 bill, and he goes, "Let me see that."
Nice. Of course.
And so the actor hands it back to him, and he goes, "Okay, you did it right." It was a period bill.
Yeah, it was a real bill, right?
But it had to be a period $100.
It was a 1970s. It was
right.
It was before the bill,
Right.
Yeah.
Before the year. Right.
And so that was it. That was the test.
Yeah.
And passed the test, and then he asked me there was a cell phone in a scene, and he goes, "Let me see the cell phone." And I had a whole truck full of kids.
Yeah.
That was easy.
Right.
Yeah. So I had like, how about this one, or this? And he goes, okay, that was fine.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't really ask anything outside of that.
No.
I just want to make sure you were paying attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And no, but it was great. I was super happy I had to work with Clint once.
Yeah. That's cool. And that was a lot of background in that show, right?
Yeah, a lot of cameras, like giant press stuff.
Yeah.
And out of California, and it becomes tricky. We had a 5-ton just
Where were
press.
you?
We were in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
So I had a separate 5-ton for press.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I hired real camera guys.
Thank Christ, right? Because that's the
Oh,
worst.
it's the only way to do it right.
Seriously.
Because prop people don't know how to do it.
Well, and neither do background,
No,
So like
they definitely don't know it.
Freaking
But I mean,
time.
we can't know every camera in the world.
Right.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? We can't.
Right.
And and this is period too. So I had two real camera people on the days.
Where did you find real camera technicians like that?
Called like new studios and stuff.
Oh, really? Just around Atlanta and stuff? Yeah.
And I hired them, and they're thrilled to do it.
Totally.
Yeah.
How were they as like?
They set
how
up
are they
these
as prop
cameras
people
in
and
30
stuff?
seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's so second nature to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're not fumbling around.
And they could teach the background fairly quickly, too.
And they show them how to do it.
Right.
And
they get the cables right.
Yes, they do it all right. It looks real.
Yeah.
Were they confident enough to get in there in between takes and like tweak everybody up and everything?
Of course, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And
And actually, one of the compliments I got from Clint is, "Man, you really know how to like do that press stuff."
Nice. Dude.
Yeah, he was impressed.
All right.
Yeah. He was like impressed like how smoothly it all went because I had real people there.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to mess around with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like me and like Carolyn trying to do it with like people there.
Yeah.
Like prop assistants because none of us really know. We can't know all
Yeah,
the
of
cameras.
course.
There's too many cameras.
There's too many, exactly. And it's so hard to keep track of all these people and, turn off the flash in between.
Exactly.
Yeah. I never thought about it for stuff like that. Like you just sell it to them by hiring, like you would hire a med tech or something, right?
Yeah, I just do it.
You just do it.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Because they're not on like union or anything like that.
It's like a tech advisor.
They're like a tech advisor, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I could hire real camera people. But
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I just say to the ADs. It's like, you're going to hire a background person. Why don't you hire somebody who knows what the hell they're doing instead?
Yeah. 100%.
That makes way more sense.
No, I agree.
But I've always done that too.
Yeah.
Like on Contagion, I hired one of the techs that was on the show.
Yeah.
Like that Soderbergh said, okay, she's doing the whole show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like I found them at UCLA and then they hired my tech.
Yeah.
That was helping me. So.
Yeah.
They were like a Contagion, like a
they were
tech?
the real thing.
Really?
Yeah. They worked in a biolab, like a level 3 where, like hazmat suits, you go in, like that kind of stuff.
Did you find that person looking for a tech, or were you just doing research? And
No, I was looking
movie?
for someone.
You were looking for
to
someone
help us, so we knew what we were doing.
Well, like, you don't want to do it wrong. That's the worst thing.
Because he had his own real people on the show, and it's funny. My tech got in a fight with his tech one day.
Really?
Yeah. It happens all the time, like with police techs, you do all this work and then they come in and are like, that's not right. It's like, shut up. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just not how you do it. It doesn't mean it's wrong. Yeah. Good God.
And that brings me to the stuff I don't want to do, which is medical. For that reason.
Yeah.
I think medical is boring. We're never going to know anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, we'd have to go to medical school. I'm not interested in learning anything about it.
Right.
And then you have all the techs arguing and telling you you're doing everything wrong all the time.
Yeah.
Again, I've done medical procedure shows like Body of Proof or whatever, and we had med techs in there. And at the end of the day, it always comes down to the script. Okay,
Yes,
and they want to do stuff, and then the med tech say, well, that's not how they do it. And they're like, yeah, but we need to do it for the show. And so they're like acquiesce and you do it. And then you're like, biting your cheek because it's like, they're doing it wrong, but that's what they want. Now that I'm doing a med comedy, it's even worse. Okay, they're like, oh no, that's not funny. This is funny. It's like, but that might be funny, but it's also dangerous.
It's a procedure. It's not funny.
You're making our doctors do something that they would get, thrown out of the AMA for.
Yeah.
So it's TV. Sometimes.
So I don't want to do medical stuff.
Yeah, it's medical. It gets boring.
Or how about police stuff? Any police?
Like, no, I don't want to do
none of that
either.
type of show.
No.
Yeah.
No police, no medical.
Yeah. Just Western.
Or just
period.
Or just something different.
Right. Well, sure. After all these years, you want to do something that's going to keep you engaged.
Yeah, and the reason if Fallout was just contemporary,
right,
I probably wouldn't have done it.
Right.
But it does have that 1950s element.
Yeah, totally.
So I was excited.
But also futuristic.
Yeah, it's got both.
Yeah,
I want to do both of those for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to say about Fallout?
No.
Still recovering.
It's like what your whole last year was.
I think we topped the first season.
Yeah,
and that is not easy to do.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That was a good.
Yeah, we have some.
First season was incredible.
Yeah, we have some crazy props.
Yeah,
that's what I keep hearing.
Yeah,
that the props are crazy. And how would you like working with Howard Cummings?
Well, I've done 7 Soderbergh movies with Howard.
Oh, Howard,
and
did
that's
all
how
those.
I got
Wow.
this.
Okay, cool.
I was actually surprised that Howard did, because I had never done anything like this with Howard.
Right.
I had done stuff like this, like lots of manufacturing, but not with Howard. And then I just did, all those Soderbergh movies with Howard. And he called me one day and said he wanted me to do it with another prop master.
Right. Yeah, because that's what
they did in New York. So Howard Cummings was the production designer of the first movie I ever did.
Wait, what was that?
It was the first movie I ever did. Howard Cummings was the production designer.
Oh my God, what show was that?
It was called 1918. It was a Horton Foote movie in Waxahachie, Texas.
Wow.
And I was the lead man.
He's a great designer.
He is.
I mean, like seeing him do Fallout, I mean, I do not know how he does this.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the sets, every set is insane.
They're beautiful.
And they're like 5 a week.
Wow.
It was stunning to me how Howard has, I mean, he's not young.
No.
And how he's doing this.
Yeah.
That construction crew must be huge.
Yeah, it was like 180 people. Yeah. It was I'm glad it was in LA.
I was going to say
that's what I mean. They gave them half of them employed.
It was like all the Teamsters and all the construction guys. It was great for LA. I was really happy that was in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I wish there was some big stuff in LA. I really do.
I know, because it's like, certainly we have the capacity to do it.
Yeah.
That's for sure, so
for
moving
sure.
everything to the UK, but
I know.
We could still do it. Some of those shops are the best shops in the world.
Oh, I know. And I hope they don't go away because there's no work.
I know.
Yeah.
We're getting dangerously close.
Like the staff shops and all these
even
studios.
The prop houses, they're so dangerous.
Oh, I know.
It would break my heart to see any of them go.
I mean, we were getting the calls on Fallout like, please give us something. I mean, we're dying.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
painful.
It's real.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still hope it's going to turn around.
I do too.
I mean, I don't think it's going to go back to where it was, but we need something. We couldn't be able to do it, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Out of this crazy resume you have, what was your favorite prop movie? Like, what do you think takes the cake out of everything on your resume that you've done?
Well, I think my experiences with the crew and the people are really important to me too. And on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, I had an incredible time. The whole crew hung out together in Mexico, and we did everything together. And that was one of the best experiences I ever had.
Yeah.
That was a great experience.
Yeah. And it probably translated to the movie, just what it ended up being.
Yeah. Rick Moranis was really great.
That's cool.
the first month with Rick, or the first couple of weeks, he was like he picked me out of. He wanted to give me shit all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck is going on with this guy? And he just wanted to be my friend.
Right.
And we stayed friends years after Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. He would like call me.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
Yeah.
Like after he retired and everything?
Yeah.
You know he's coming back for Spaceballs, right?
No, I didn't. Well, right before COVID, the week before, we were finishing on Macbeth. We were finishing on Macbeth, and I was supposed to go to Atlanta for the reboot of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with Rick.
Oh, yeah?
Wow.
Yeah, and they canceled the whole thing.
Oh, no.
And never brought it back.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. I was super excited. And it was Joe Johnston again.
Yeah.
The same director.
That's cool.
Yeah.
They were going to do a whole reboot of it?
Yeah, they were going to... Well, no, it wasn't a reboot. It was actually now.
Yeah.
His son grew up.
Oh, so it was like a real sequel.
Yeah,
with all
the young
people.
son now was an adult and an inventor.
Did you get to read the script?
Yeah, I read
Nice.
it. Yeah.
Was it good?
It was hard.
It was hard?
Yeah, it was hard. And I was like, yeah. And I was excited. It was one of my favorite producers, Larry Franco.
Yeah.
And Joe Johnston. And
So it was a perfect situation.
It was Josh Gad.
And Rick was going to come back
Moranis,
for
it. Yeah.
Wow, that's
I hope it comes
tragic.
back for you.
I don't think it will, but
I hope it
so
does.
too.
It'd be
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm happy that's your answer to like I was saying, like the start for everything.
Well, yeah, it's when you were young and free.
Yeah. The movies that you had a really good experience with the crew too.
Right.
Mean a lot. Like the Tom
100%.
Shadak movies I did. I had a great time on all three of them.
Yeah.
When I woke up in the morning, I looked forward to going to work.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I don't always do that.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
so
For
I
sure.
was excited. Another fun day working.
Yeah.
With Jim Carrey and Tom
Right.
Shadak, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, that's how I feel too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's-
People joking all day.
I know. People that just like to be there and like to be around each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Wow. We just killed
Oh,
that.
wow. That was an hour and a half?
Yeah. See, that,
I'm done. Yeah. Okay.
that was great having you in the room finally. So thank you for coming out.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I guess I'll close this
Thank
out.
you. Close it
My
out,
paper
Mikey.
go. Thank you to everybody for tuning into another episode of Prop Talk, the official podcast of the Property Masters Guild, brought to you by real working retired prop masters. If this is your first time listening, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment wherever you're hearing this. If you want to know more information on the Property Masters Guild or have any questions for us here at Prop Talk, be sure to go to propertymastersguild.org. We're also on Instagram and all those socials @_the PMG. We have an award show coming up. Make sure to get your tickets. It's the only award show honoring property masters. We have a winner in the room right now. So come out. It's an awesome celebration. It's going to be a lot of fun. Until next time.